Could the Browns actually be looking to trade Myles Garrett? That's what we're going to be talking about on today's show. I know, a wild statement to open up the show with, but there's some stuff that have come out about Myles Garrett and his contract and what the Browns are doing that could possibly scream, maybe whisper, trade for Myles Garrett. You're watching Bucs Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Reid Bartkus. Wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching, hope you're having a great day. Now, Myles Garrett trade. A recent maneuver by Cleveland makes trading Myles Garrett possible. Could the Bucs actually do it? Now, they were in, kind of a wanted to trade for Max Crosby. Maybe they were interested. Nothing ever solidified came out. But could they come out of the woodworks and trade for Myles Garrett if it's possible? So make sure you hit the subscribe button, because when stuff like this happens, maybe the Bucs aren't clamoring after Myles Garrett, or maybe they weren't in the show. They weren't in the game for Myles Garrett last year when he requested a trade. But if anything does happen, I don't want you guys to miss anything, because we'll cover it on the show. And I want to get to 2,000 subscribers before the 2026 NFL Draft. We are 370 away. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. It is $0, completely free. You get some fun videos about a potential Myles Garrett trade, even though it kind of sounds crazy, but still got to make a video about it and see if it could be a possibility. Now, let's get into the video. Whew. All right. The Browns and Myles Garrett have modified his contract. He had option bonuses in 2026 through 2028 that were due on the 15th day of the league year, which is this week. Now, they push it back 7 days before the season, so in September. So he's getting that money either way, but they're just pushing it down way past when he was supposed to get it, which was this week. So you kind of, a little light bulb or a siren kind of goes off. It's like, well, why would you guys do that? So ESPN's reporting framed this as beneficial to both sides. Garrett maybe is getting his base salary paid sooner. We don't know that yet. It could just be, working the contract in a way that he just gets the money sooner. And, a lot of the NFL contracts, you can, not loopholes, but just stuff that you can move around to make it maybe beneficial or anything. But they don't save any salary cap space with this move. That is not what's going on here. They're not, pushing money down the road to make more cap space for them to sign more people. No, this 29.2 he's getting. It just depends on when. So they push it down the line to September the 15th, or 7 days before the league starts. So it's like, why? Like, I'm thinking in my head, why are you doing this if it doesn't benefit either person? Doesn't benefit Myles Garrett. He's getting the money either way. It just depends on when. And then the Browns, they're not saving any cap space. So, like, okay, what is this? Immediately, I think this screams hey, just in case we want to trade Myles Garrett, it makes it way easier, because if that bonus hits, that option bonus hits, that skyrockets the cap hit on Myles Garrett. I think it's like $70 million. So it goes from like 41 all the way up to 70. There's no possibility for a trade after that. So if you move that money down, I mean, they probably call Myles Garrett. It's like, you're going to get the money, just depends on when. He's like, oh, yeah, maybe, because maybe we want to trade you. And he'd be like, all right, who knows? I asked for a trade last season, so maybe. So I think that's what's going on here, is that it's just a push it down and then maybe the possibility of a trade. You keep that door open. That's why they did this. But Mary Kay Cabot, who covers the Browns, she's covered them for a while. She says the modifications, confirmed by Cleveland.com, results in a more team-friendly structure of the contract, which would make it easier to trade. But the Browns have no plans to do so. In fact, if they wanted to trade him, which they don't, they wouldn't have needed to tweak the contract. Okay, well, you wouldn't have needed to tweak the contract if you were going to trade him either. That doesn't really make sense to me, but Spotrac also came out with this that says the Browns moving back the exercise dates of Myles Garrett's option bonuses freed up zero cap space, like we said earlier. The bonuses are already prorated over 5 years for cap purposes and will remain that way if/when exercised. The move does, however, keep all options on the table. Options, a trade. So Adam Schefter was on the Pat McAfee show, and he says, a team called me, and they're like, hey, do you see this Myles Garrett thing? They're like, if you're shifting option bonuses around, usually there's trade smoke. Right away, I called the Browns. I'm like, what's going on here? They're like, we are 100% definitely not trading him. They're adamant about it. Like, they're like, don't even bring it up and dignify the fact that because we're not trading him. They could have been stronger about it. Like, they couldn't have been stronger about it. I'm sorry. That like Captain Obvious, you're not going to advertise that he's for sale. He's the best defensive player in the league. Possibly, if he continues this stretch that he has, he could be the best defensive player ever. And immediately when I'm thinking of that quote, and it's like, oh yeah, we're definitely not doing it. We're definitely not doing it. No, we're not. We're not. Like, why are you trying to sell us on the fact that you're not going to trade him when, yeah, he asked last year, but you paid him a bunch of money. He had a great year. The Browns' defense was actually pretty good. Their offense was dog poop. So why are you so quick to say, no, we're not trading him? This means nothing. There's no benefit for either side. So why are you doing it? Like, I don't know. But the edge market is hot right now. So the Eagles are definitely a team in the works of possibly trading A.J. Brown, that post June 1, gets off the books, helps with draft capital, everything like that. The market's hot right now. We know about the Max Crosby stuff. I'll get to that in a second. But, like, you could, if you plan this out right, the Browns, I'm saying, you could get a lot for Myles Garrett. Brett Coleman says, the asking price for Garrett is 3 first-round picks at least. The Browns are doing this to make me think the Browns doing this makes me think they might have a buyer on the line here. Like, there should be alarm bells going off of right now of like, this has to be a just in case for a trade. And don't forget, the Browns actually submitted a rule change to allow trading draft picks up to 5 years out instead of 3. Now, this isn't like this is definitely why they're doing it, or they want to trade Myles Garrett and get a bunch of picks from different drafts. But, like, they could be thinking about, no offense to Shedeur Sanders, but they could be thinking about like an Arch Manning or the future QB classes that are a lot better than the ones this year and maybe next year. Maybe they want to get those draft picks from farther out, and a Myles Garrett trade could do that because look at these stats, guys. Like, he is the best. I think it's him, Aaron Donald, and J.J. Watt, our Bears guy, Harrison Graham. These are that top 3 defensive players ever. 23 sacks, breaks the sack record. He's got 39 QB hits. I mean, it's unbelievable, and his value is insane right now. He's 30 years old, about to turn 30. Like, right now is when you would want to trade him, because if you get a little bit farther in, you don't want to give up 3 first-round picks for a guy who is, if he plays another 2 years with the Browns, 32 years old, like, you're not going to give that up. Like, if we go back to the Crosby trade, that didn't happen. 2 first-round picks for a guy who has a knee injury and, yes, is very good, but he does not touch Myles Garrett. And this didn't even go through. The Ravens were like, maybe not. And that's a whole different rabbit hole that you want to go down, because the Ravens are just a Bush League organization. You don't bring out a guy to trade for him and then not. But, I mean, he just doesn't. Like, Max Crosby, he's a good edge rusher, and he's a good NFL football player. Like, he's very, very good, but he's got some injury concerns, and he's also a little bit older as well. But, the 23 sacks to 14.5, these are their best seasons. This is Max Crosby in 2023. I mean, Myles Garrett is in a league of his own. But I want to ask you guys, because this is a lot what of this show is. I'm just giving you all the information right now, the rumors about Myles Garrett, the contract maneuvers. So, like, if you guys didn't see this in the news at all, that's why you guys come here and get a little rumor video about, could the Bucs actually do this, or are the Browns looking to do this? But I keep rambling. I'm sorry. Would you give up 3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett? Type Y for yes, type N for no in the comments section. I mean, if I'm saying, I don't know. I'll give my answer at the end. I will give my answer at the end, but you please let me know down in the comment section. Next up, what would a trade look like, and why would you do it? That's the thing we got to think about, because with all these rumors, it's like, okay, maybe the Browns actually believe what they say, and it's, not, they don't want to trade him, and maybe it's all smoke screen and everything like that. But would the Bucs actually want to go and do it, and what would it look like? So that's what we're going to talk about. But I want to talk about the financials for a little bit. Now, I do want to give a little, precursor. The financial side of the NFL is very complicated, and I am not nearly the best person to talk about it, but I'm going to do my best. His current cap hit right now for the Browns is $23.67 million. And then if you trade him pre-June 1st, it is $41 million. But post-June 1st, it is only $15 million. So that's what I talked about with the Eagles is if they want to do a post-June 1 trade with A.J. Brown, they could trade him to the Patriots, get a bunch of draft capital, and then use that to trade for Myles Garrett because it's a lot easier on the books. Now, the new team would owe $31 million and $31.5 million in 2026, and that's guaranteed money. That's the cash that he actually gets. 2027, $41.7 million, 2028, $24.8, and you're thinking about it, wow, that's a lot of money, but when you look at the production and the stats that Myles Garrett produces, that's actually not terrible. That is not, it's less than $100 million for 3 years of he's at the peak right now, and if he continues, being healthy, you don't want to trade for someone and be like, well, what if he gets injured? You can't do that because anybody could get injured. The Cowboys and Packers aren't going to be like, oh, we're not trading for Micah Crosby. They're not trading for Micah Parsons because, oh, we think he's going to get injured. He just happened to get injured. And so 3 years of Myles Garrett at less than $100 million, I think that's pretty good. And then his cap hits aren't even that bad either. 2026 would be $9 million in 2026. 2027 would be 17, 2028, 21. And then obviously moving on, it gets a lot bigger. But at that point, you could maybe trade him or cut him or figure something else after that so that it doesn't destroy your books or anything like that. But when we think about that, with the financial side over and sort of talking about that, a big question that I have is, are you willing to give up this team's future for Myles Garrett? Yes, he's great, but he is turning 30, and there is maybe injury concern, maybe not. You got to think about everything when you're giving up 3 first-round picks if you were to do so. Plus, Todd Bowles could possibly be on the way out. He's on the hot seat right now. He was on the hot seat after the season ended. If anyone disagrees with that, just go look on Twitter or go look on any blog. People are still want him to be fired. So do you want to give up that future if you think the head coach is leaving? Because some notable contracts expiring in 2026. Baker Mayfield, he's going into these are all people going into a contract year. And yes, 2 of these are brand new signings, but he's 30 years old going into a contract year. Vita Vea, 31 years old. Anthony Nelson, 29. Ashawn Robinson, who we just signed, 31. Al-Qadim Muhammad, 30. And if that's 2026, this is not even everybody. This is just notable that, starters and people who would be a big loss losing or anything like that. Just some notables. Chris Godwin, he's 30. So he's 2027. Antoine Winfield, 2027. He's 27 years old. Ben Bredesen, Alex Anzalone, and Kalijah Kancey, he's 25 years old. You want to pay him if he has a good year because he had a good, you haven't seen a ton from him because he was injured. So it's do you want to give up those 3 first-round picks? Because that's my first trade idea is those 3 first-round picks. 2026, 2027, 2028. That is what you would have to give up for Myles Garrett right now because he just broke the sack record and he's the best defensive player in the league right now, possibly if he continues in the all-time NFL. Let's be serious. So that's what it would give. And it's well, I don't want to give up 3 first-round picks. You're still going to give up a little bit of your future because my second trade idea, these are my trade ideas, by the way. You might have to give up Yaya Diaby because he's a 26-year-old edge rusher linebacker who had a very good year last year, and you still have to give up 2 first-round picks. You're still giving up your future because, he did have a good year last year, and he's probably going to be a captain on the defense this year with Levante David leaving. He had 50 tackles, 7 sacks. He had a very, very solid year. Do you want to give up a guy like that who is only 26 years old for a Myles Garrett who I don't want to say is declining because he just broke the sack record, but this is what you have to think about. So my final thoughts on this is I am not trading for Myles Garrett. I know I asked you guys earlier, would you trade 3 first-round picks? I wouldn't trade for him if it was 3 first-round picks. That's just way too much. It's way too much. I smell a rebuild, by the way. I know some of you guys might not like it. Some of you guys might agree. If Todd Bowles does not have a good season this year, the offense is down, even with Zach Robinson, and the defense is not good with Todd Bowles, and it's time for him to either get fired or he just retires, sort of like what Mike Tomlin did with the Steelers. I smell a rebuild, and not a good one, because there's a lot of expiring contracts, like I showed you, and they're all a little bit older. So it's like you want to lean on Emeka Egbuka and a lot of your younger guys. Like Bucky Irving's contract is expiring in 2027 as well. So like I'm not giving away this future of this team when I smell a rebuild coming if we don't have another good year. But let me hear from you. I want to hear what your Myles Garrett trade offers would be. Give up players like maybe a Chris Braswell or David Walker or something like that. Please let me know down in the comment section. I would love, love, love to see what you guys want to give up. Or if you are like absolutely freaking not, I'm not giving up anything for Myles Garrett, and I don't even think the Browns are going to trade for that, please let me know in the comment section. That's all I got for you today on this show. I know, a little crazy. I'm sure a lot of you in the comments are like, why are we even talking about this? The Bucs are not, the biggest trade they could have made maybe is Darrelle Revis or Keyshawn. I mean, there's a lot of notable non-trade. Like, this would be a huge trade if the Bucs actually did it. Would Jason Licht do it? I don't know. I'm rambling. Thank you guys for watching to the end of today's video. And as always, fire the cannons.